guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yegi, a master lash artist, educator, and a business owner all about eyelash extensions. So those of you that know me, thank you for coming back. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and for those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. I hope you guys get what you need out of it, and please leave your feedback about anything else you want us to cover. So it's going to be a full tutorial of a hybrid set, and what's special about this hybrid set is that it's going to be a natural looking hybrid set with spikes or a wispy type. Okay, so let me kind of show you the mapping for it and it will make more sense. So we will stick to like a short to medium length with it, and it's also going to be a cat eye, since that's what we get requested most these days. And actually hybrid sets have become a lot more popular than volume and mega volume sets lately, so this is going to be a good one. Now we are also using 3D pre-made fans in order to make our speed faster and make our life easier for this set. So it's very beginner friendly, this tutorial. But what's one thing a little bit advanced and really cool to see in this is one of the eyes I'm going to focus on doing it kind of traditional style. I'm just going to layer out the bottom layer for the spikes or the wispy part, and the other eye I'm going to layer out all of the layers of the natural lashes to fully show you the difference between lashing regularly, lashing in layers, so you can see the difference. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy that little extra bonus with it. So the lengths we're going to use for this mapping is 8 through 12, and we're going to go from 8 to 12 from shortest to longest for the cat eye look. So we will divide it into 5 different sections, and we will put 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And these are what the pre-mades, okay? Or I'll just put 3D on there so you guys know what we're using. And then for our spikes, I'm gonna use the blue marker, and we're gonna put those within each section, okay? And these spikes, I'm gonna use the 0.15, and these are both C curl actually. I'm gonna use a 0.15 C matte flat eyelashes in the lengths that are 3 millimeters longer than our original. So if this is 8, we will be 9, 10, 11. So we will start from 11. And we want the spikes to be slightly longer in order to give it a more distinct look, to kind of make the lashes in sections. And you guys will see that at the end when you see the final look, okay? So I'm not necessarily putting one spike in each area. I'm gonna put a few, but all of them that fall in this area, they're gonna be length 11. All of them fall in this area, they're gonna be 12. And so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And I am using 2 of the 0.15 lashes in each spike. So I will put 2 in each spike, okay? The last thing you guys need to know about the mapping, the spikes for this set, I chose to put it in the very bottom layer, and it'll be easier to see visually when you guys see the tutorial. But anyways, I hope you guys are excited for this look, and let's get right to it. Here is what the client's natural eyelashes look like without eyelash extensions. Now, it's important to always observe your client's eyelashes and eye shape in order to design the set that they want. So for her, we did choose to do a more natural hybrid set because first of all, she didn't want anything too dramatic. And the second thing of it was she has pretty light eyebrows, light hair. So if we did anything that was too heavy, it was going to be too bold. We also want to pay attention to her slightly hooded eyes and make sure that we don't do any eyelashes that are really curly, like a D curl, in order to avoid them from touching her eyelid. So for her, that's the reason why we chose the C curl, and for our volume pieces for the hybrid, we chose only 3D fans instead of the 6D that we would pick on average for a hybrid set. So now we're ready to start the preparation process for lashing. So I like to send my clients to the bathroom to wash their eyelashes with a Yegi foam cleanser before I start. Even if their eyelashes may seem clean, I want them to have really clean eyelashes right before the service. This helps with retention a lot. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the hydrating under eye patches to protect the under eye skin and also hold down some of the bottom eyelashes. Now in my taping process, I do use a lot of tape, but it helps me get a nice clean taping of the under eyelashes so it could make my life easier to isolate and apply. Now I use 2 layers of the white tape first, and I do a crisscross to hold down those bottom lashes. And then over the white tape, I'm going to use the clear transparent tape, and I'll link all these products below so you guys can see which exact ones I'm talking about. But this really helps all the lashes to stay in place, and you want to make sure you take your time and lay the tape flat nicely, okay? You don't want to see any creases, any bubbles. If your tape is not aligned in the edges or it's lifting or anything like that, it will get in your way of your work. So make sure you're taking your time and practicing your taping at first. Next, we're going to go ahead and use the Yegi primer to prime the client's natural eyelashes. Again, this step is really important to make sure that the natural eyelashes are going to work with the adhesive as good as possible. We want to make sure all the work that we do, the 1.5, 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours we spend on the client, they're gonna last. The lashes are gonna last and they're gonna have good retention. So take your time, use 2 lip applicators, one from above, one from below, and really get the primer all over. Now, if you see any makeup residue or any gunk at that point, you wanna really take your time to clean everything off with the primer, or even re-cleanse the eyelashes before you apply the primer. You want to see them sparkling clean so your work can last. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to map out the design we chose for the client. Now, as we get used to lashing, we may want to skip the mapping, and I've done that in the past, but in reality, if you do map it out, more likely your 2 eyes are going to be very consistent and even compared to just kind of visually applying the lashes. So take your time, do the mapping. It takes like 1 extra minute, but it does guarantee the consistency of both eyes. Now, the mapping that you guys see on the under eye patches, the 8 through 12 with the black marker, that is my 3D fans. And then the other links that you see that's 3 millimeter longer than the rest, those are the spikes we're gonna put in. After the taping, the first thing I'm gonna do before I apply is I'm gonna try to lash her lashes in layers. So I'm gonna lift up all her natural lashes with the blue sensitive tape and only pull out the very bottom layer.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to.
Here are the Yegi matte flat eyelashes and the transparent adhesive that I'm going to use to glue these on. Now, the transparent adhesive is super strong and it dries really quickly, and it makes sure you're going to have a great retention. The trick with it though is make sure you use very little, and you don't wet the eyelashes before they dry. So if the adhesive is not fully dry and liquid attaches to it, even tears, it does leave a white residue. But if you use the adhesive properly, it is gold for your retention. Now I'm applying all of the spikes in the bottom layer of her eyelashes. So this is a technique, or this is a look that you can do in order to have a subtle spike effect. I'm applying 2 of the matte flat eyelashes together in order to create my own spike. Now these matte flat eyelashes are flat eyelashes, but they're super soft. That's why they're my favorite, and I prefer to use these when I do spikes. And the ones I'm using for this set is 0.15, and again 2 of them in each spike. And we're applying about every like few millimeters we're applying it. You could see how I'm spacing that out in the video. It's easier to see it visually, but total we want about 7 to 10 spikes in that bottom layer for a natural wispy hybrid look. Now I can let go of the taping and kind of brush the spikes in, see how they're sitting. If they are spaced out nicely, I can use my lash mirror. And then I'm gonna add in the volume fans on the rest of the lashes. Now these pre-made fans, again, they're one of my favorites. They're super soft. It doesn't have adhesive. They are heat bonded, so they really like stick to the natural lashes really well as a pre-made fan. And again, we're only using the 3D fans in order to give her more of a natural hybrid look. We don't want it to be super full. Now this set can actually also be considered kind of a volume set because mostly we're applying fans throughout her eye. We just have those extra spikes in there. So you can go either way, but I like to consider it as a hybrid set for my clients because it is not as much work and they don't have to pay as much for volume, but you can go either way, so it depends. I also like to apply the pre-made fans under the client's natural lashes if their natural lashes allow that. But if their natural lashes are too straight and I can't get under, on top or on the side of the natural lashes are fine. You want to apply them on almost every single one of the client's natural eyelashes. That's how you're going to have really good retention, and that's how they're going to look the prettiest and fullest and all that good stuff. So take your time, practice until you get your speed up so you're allowed, or you can apply on almost every single one of the natural lashes. So that's all we're gonna do for some time now. So I'll speed up the video a little bit so you guys can kind of see the application, but we're gonna go ahead and apply the pre-made fans, the 3D fans throughout the eyelashes with the mapping. I'm also using the Yegi Gold A-line tweezers. These are pro tweezers. They are really good quality, tiny bit pricey, but I've been in love with these tweezers lately. So check that out if you're interested in upgrading your tweezers. But the curved one I'm using is the S-shape one. I think that one's called A3 if I'm not mistaken. That's for the isolation. And then I'm using the A4, which is the boot shape tweezers to apply. Some people also ask why use pre-made fans versus handmade fans. I've been using them lately in our salon, actually for speed. So it is a little bit more costly, but if you have clients and you're taking clients, it is a lot easier to work with. It makes all the sets very uniform, and also your speed, it speeds you up quite a bit since you don't have to hand make the fan. So depending on how much time you have for that client and what you are trying to achieve versus, you know, how much you want to save on the fans or how much time you want to save, that's kind of what's going to help you determine what you want to use. Now, again, it is preference. There are also many different types of pre-made fans, so you have to see which size is your favorite. Just a general guide, we like to use on average the 50 or the 60 pre-made fans for sets. It's really nice and full, so you can get a very nice full volume look with it, or use it for a hybrid, like an average hybrid set. But like I said, for this one, since we want it more lighter, we're going to use a 3D fan. And what that means is there's 3 pieces of hair in that pre-made fan. If it's a 60 fan, that means there's 6 pieces of hair on that 60 fan. Now I'm going to use some of the blue sensitive tape and pull out her eyelid in order to see those inner corner lashes to make sure I lash them, okay? A lot of times they're hiding if you don't use tape to pull the eyelid out or up, and you can miss them, and this is what's going to set your work apart. If you don't lash all the baby lashes, inner and outer corners, your work looks average. But if you do, your work ends up looking very professional. And tape really is going to be your best friend. So if there's any area that you're having trouble lashing or seeing the base or where the natural eyelash grows out of in order to lash, that's your clue in order for you to use some tape to move the eyelid or eye around in order for you to see all those natural lashes.
You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
Now I'm drying the eyelashes in order to untape her bottom eyelashes and only try to focus on those inner and outer corners to make sure her set is nice and complete. So before you open or lift her eye open, make sure you dry them really well, because the fumes of the glue can make the client's eyes uncomfortable or teary or stingy. But if the glue is really dry, it will not do that. Now I'm using 2 layers of the white tape and 1 layer of the clear tape in order to create my own mini eye patch to tape only the outer corner of the eye. Now this is going to help me to get into those hard to reach outer corner lashes and apply on all of them.
I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to.
Now we're going to move on to the next eye, and we're going to repeat exactly what we did on the left eye. Now what I'm going to do different with the right eye is I'm going to show you guys how to continue to lash in layers. For the left eye, we had only lashed the bottom layer with isolating it with tape and lashing in layers. But with the right eye, I'm going to show you guys how to bring down one layer at a time in order to maybe lash faster or make your isolation a lot easier. Now it's really preference how you want to lash, but one kind of hint or what I've noticed is if a client has really layered eyelashes to start with, like you see them kind of like stacking on top of each other, it's easier to isolate in layers or lash in layers. If they don't, then it's kind of easier to just lash the traditional way with the tweezers and leaving all the eyelashes down. Now you guys can see I'm using another under eye patch to hold down that first layer that we already put the spikes on. And then we're going to use our tweezers to pull out the next layer of the natural eyelashes so we can apply the extensions on there. And now we're going to just continue applying those 3D fans as we did for the left eye on the rest of the layers of the natural lashes. So you guys can see kind of the difference in application and isolation between the two eyes. Again, our goal in any way we lash is to make sure that we don't stick any natural eyelashes together. So each natural eyelash should also have one single classic eyelash, a spike, or a volume fan. None of the natural eyelashes should be stuck together or be mixing in and having clumps with multiple extensions. It's either getting one classic eyelash, it's getting a spike, or it's getting a volume fan.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed, a life destroyed. Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Superhero. Superhero.
Lashing in layers or isolating in layers, sometimes the lashes kind of go all over the place when you're taping it down because obviously they're getting kind of crushed. But if you brush them nicely and vigorously, they should go back kind of where they were. You may have one or two that have shifted or that come off, and you can just replace that at the very end, or at least that's what I do. If you guys have better or more suggestions about that, please let me know. And again, we can't forget about those inner corners, so make sure that even when you're lashing in layers, at the end you do pull out the eyelid and you apply on those inner corners.
Fly away. It's the first time of today. Today. To dream, believe. You are the strength, you're all I need.
Now we're gonna use the super bonder to lock everything in so she's ready to go. The lashes are set and cured. She can go ahead and take a shower, swim, do whatever she needs to. I really, really like the Yegi super bonder. It just completes your whole process. Now it is an additional step. You don't have to do that step, but it does help the clients have no downtime, and it secures and locks everything in and helps with retention. Just make sure with the super bonder you are drying the eyelashes really well, at least 3 minutes before you use the super bonder and 3 minutes after you apply the super bonder. This is going to make sure that your adhesive doesn't get a shock, and also if you are especially using a clear adhesive, it's not going to get white spots, and also everything's going to again have the best retention. And here's the final look.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the peace.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you like this look and you're going to try it on your clients. Please make sure to give me any feedback you have, how you feel about lashing in layers. And don't forget, if you want to get trained and certified by me or by Yegi Beauty, you guys can always do that in an in-person class in Los Angeles. Those are the only classes we're offering for now in person, or online all over the world. You guys can enroll, and it will still have a lot of personalized, even one-on-one sessions, Zoom sessions scheduled with me if needed. And the best part about our education is continuous. Once you take a class, even a year later, 2 years later, you need a refresher, you can come back and sit in on that same class. So if there are updates, anything you want to work on, we always are here for you. Yeah, that's it. Check out yegibeauty.com for all the products as well. I appreciate your support. And like always, have an awesome day.